Who is Gemma? What is her backstory? I think I know, and I want to talk about it. I think Gemma is Little Miss Forge from Monsanto 4. Well, why do I think that? There are 3 reasons. The obvious one, both of them are smiths. Also, they wear similar outfits with a similar color palette and have similar hair as well. And the 3rd reason is she has gifts from her former companions of the caravan. The jacket that she wears looks exactly like the jacket that the caravanee has, and the plushie of the kutku that she has looks like the ones that the Guildmarm made. So they both might have given those things to her before she departed to the Forbidden Lands. And as we know, the Forbidden Lands are the area in which the new Monsanto game, Monsanto Wilds, plays. So she traveled from the region of Valhabar and Hearth, which are both in the Old World, to the Forbidden Lands. Did you know that people liked her so much they put the dating sim tag on Monsanto Wild's Steam page? Maybe it will be a dating sim considering that our character can now give answers out of multiple options. So, anyway, let's talk about her backstory. She was adopted and raised by the Chief of Hearth, who is a Troverian. Before that, is not much known, unfortunately. Hearth is an underground village of Troverians near a volcanic region. And the Troverians themselves are a race probably inspired by dwarves. If I'm correct, the Japanese version calls them Earth or Mole people, which fits really well because they live underground and they are as grounded and stubborn as the earth. They rarely go above ground and like to stay in the earth as they feel the world's pulse like one big beating heart. It makes them want to dig. And while Vivarians invented forging, Troverians invented relic polishing after the craft of forging was brought to them by the Vivarians. They excel at the manufacturing of weapons and ships. The Chief of Hearth treats Little Miss Forge like his own daughter and worries about her, calling her the little one. And she calls him Pops. But he is way too overprotective of his own daughter and makes every conversation about her while getting emotional. The caravaneer even told us they ought to hand out raincoats on the way into this village. Say anything at all to the Hearth's village chief and he'll find a way to make it about his daughter. Armor, travel, liquor. The other day he brought up spectacles and he found a way to make it about his daughter's eyesight. And you know him. The second he gets talking about his little girl, the floodgates open and booty flipping who, I tell you. Raincoats. That's what this village needs. The wife of the Hearth chief, the one Little Miss Forge calls Ma, was an outstanding artisan. We don't see her in-game though, probably because she sadly passed away. Little Miss Forge learned by watching her how to forge decorations, and she learned it through sheer natural talent. The wife of the Hearth chief also made him a hammer. When that one broke, he was really devastated and Little Miss Forge took it upon herself to make him a new one. Once she gave it to him, he said, "You did it. You finally outdid Ma." And they both started crying. And that really shows how talented she was at that young age. Afterwards, her story is closely tied to the story of Monsanto 4. Our hunter with the caravan first meets her in Hearth, where they stop to build a ship. More or less just because they want to sail around. Well, and find out what the weird object called the article that the caravaneer has is. But all they find are Troverians that are really depressed because they can't work. As the lava stopped flowing through their home, they ask our hunter for help, and after we defeated a Tsetsukabra and an Erskilla, the lava flows again, and with it, start our plans for the ship. While being there, Little Miss Forge gets acquainted with the caravan. She also makes friends with the Ace Gunner lady. She's also really impressed by the man, a Vivarian smith that works for the caravan. She said she always wanted a Vivarian forging instructor to show her the ropes, because they know way more than Pop and the diggers. After she spends some time with the man, he tells us this about her. I find her intriguing. Her words thrash like a devil Joe. Her wit burns like a Rathian. She tells me she dreams of leaving Hearth and seeing the world. Well, and since the lava issue has been resolved, they all start collectively working on the ship. And she tells us, the ship design is coming right along. I love ships, especially when I'm secretly plotting to sneak aboard them. The man at the smithy agreed to let me help with the ship design. Later on, the man tells us that the ship design is her work, which shows us how talented she is. Besides being able to forge hammers, create decorations, she also can design ships at this young age. With the Troverians helping manufacture the ship, they manage to finish it, and the caravan names it the Arleuk, which translated into English means orca. Maybe she designed it this way, as she loves the sea, as she told us. I love the sea. It's got sharks, seaweed, and you can totally drown. How cool is that? When it comes time for the caravan to leave and say goodbye to Hearth, it becomes clear that little Miss Forge wants to join them. I seriously cannot wait to get out here and see the world with you. I'm gonna be the best smith in the whole world. I bet they'll call me Little Miss Smith or something. I want to become the bestest artisan ever and bring hearth technology to the whole world. Although the chief of Hearth was very reluctant, as he is way too attached to his daughter, he let her go with the caravan with his blessing, essentially saying that her life is hers now. I wish you the best, little one. Get out here and sap the world dry of knowledge. No matter how far you go, you'll always be my daughter. And with that, the caravan departs on the Arleuk, and the man becomes their teacher. Their goal is a Vivarian village that they heard of from the people of Hearth. But while they sail on the ship, they are intercepted by a Gurmagala, whom our hunter fights off with the help of the ace hunters. Because of the attack, they are stranded in Chico Islands and realize that their destination, Cathar, is in fact a village in the sky and not in the water. It is also the birthplace of the man's grandfather. So, how do we get there then? Well, little Miss Forge had an idea. If Cathar is on top of the highest mountain, then all we have to do is fly there. The Arleuk was always destined to fly. Guess what, sir? Teacher's letting me handle the ship design again. I want to make a bold ship. A ship that cuts through the endless clouds like it owns them. My ship will get us to Cathar lickety-split. When we fight Gomagalo once again, little Miss Forge helps us by forging decorations. Brace yourself, sir. I'm gonna decorate you so hard, the Gormagala will pass out just by looking at you. Afterwards, they go back to Hearth to upgrade the Arleuk. We did it, sir. The Arleuk is ready to take to the skies. Yours truly has given her wings. I feel like the guy in the story whose kid flies into the sun. What? Oh, don't worry. I didn't use wax. So then, with the flying Arleuk, they travel to Cathar. In Cathar, they realize that Garmagala has turned into Shagar Magala, and that it is causing the frenzy virus that is making monsters go crazy. So, our hunter slays it, and they realize that the article that the caravaneer has is a scale of Shagar Magala. Afterwards, the caravan is called to help defend Dandorma. We don't know what little Miss Forge did after all those events. What we do know is that she likes candy, as she and the guildmarm bought some in the Cathar market. What we do know is that she became a blacksmith famous all over the old world, as we've seen the smith of Elgada outpost, Minyal, say that her outfit is inspired by a famous blacksmith, and that outfit looks suspiciously close to that of Gemma or Little Miss Forge. Well, and then she probably ended up in the expedition to the Forbidden Lands, and that is where she is now. And for everything that happens in the Forbidden Lands, we'll probably have to wait until Monster Hunter Wilds comes out. So yeah, thank you to all those who subscribed to my channel. This video is for you. I made a deep dive into the game files and the dialogue to research this. And, by the way, I don't know who wrote the wiki articles, but some of that stuff is just blatantly wrong.